Well, hello there, you glorious people. I am so happy to be back. Wow, that was a long break. Oh, dude, I have been doing so much stuff, and now I got around to stream again, and now I can finally do it again. I am so happy. I managed to set up my new flat. I managed to set up my whole setup again. I got this wonderful green screen in the back now, so I may need some background here, but the cool thing is there's no longer a stupid background on the painting area, which is quite nice. Let me switch over. Boom. So yeah, now I'm just down here and can talk to you while I paint. And today we are going to be painting this wonderful dude here. Yeah, no, black on black is a bit hard to see, so I just put my hand behind it here. This is Star-Lord from Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I want to paint him up, or start painting him up on the stream. And yeah, for this I will be using my Kimera range. As for a few days ago, I had the full range, and now they decided to like bring out even more paints, especially skin tones and stuff. And yeah, made these handy little holders. 3D printed them so I can fit all my Kimera paints in all these nice trays. Yep. And we're going to use them today for Star-Lord. So let me grab violet would be, yeah, violet would be nice. And we're going for the Kimera, the red, which is an amazing color, but it needs a lot of shaking, so I'm going to use my vortex now. Please don't mind that strange sound, that's just the vortex mix-up. Oh damn, that is settled good. I can't hear the agitator. That is bad. Oh, there it goes. Finally sugars. There we go. There we go. And we're gonna need the purple too. Some black would be nice. And some white. Where's the white? There's the white. Which is also pretty stock, I guess. I haven't been using them for a while, so I need to shake them up thoroughly first. Sorry. Hadamoris! Hiya! Hey! Dude, thanks for watching. I hope you will enjoy the stream. And I'll do this at least once a week now, so Sunday streams will be a thing, and maybe a weekday. Oh god, this white is so stuck. I'm quite lucky to have a vortex because everything else would be pure torture. Hot Armories. I hope I said that name right. Black is a bit better. But the black from Kimera is quite thin, so it doesn't get stuck that easily. It doesn't settle down so much. Oh nice, I got it right. Okay, we are going to start from the inside out, and this means we're going to start with this shirt. Also, I pulled up some reference photos Oh no, it is past there. Star-Lord. Crisis Protocol. There we go. And there are some nice versions out there. But this is not that well of a paint job, but I quite enjoyed this version because he has this bright red cloak, and yeah, I will go for that one, I think. Okay. Some white. Boop. And some black. Let's find a nice gray we can start from. I need a pretty cheap brush. Going to switch to the more expensive ones later, but for base coating I prefer a cheap brush. This is actually an army painter brush. So let's mix up a nice gray here. Kimera always needs a lot of thinning, which is quite good because you get a lot of usage, a lot of mileage out of the paint. So if we look at the picture, you can see that his shirt is like basically just a small part here, and he decided to paint the color of his shirt red too, which is okay. So let's see. Good part about this, if you're starting from the inside, you don't have to care about all the stuff that's in the way, because you just repaint it later. And I finally found a camera position where I can lean in, and first at this point my stupid head comes in. And I rarely lean in that close. Let me get some focus. There we go. So everybody, what are you up to on this fine day? I will do some base coats and some highlights on this, and later on I'm going to the club and teach people to use their handguns properly. Some instruction sessions going on. Wow, this is like the tiniest miniature. It's amazing how small they actually are. Okay, so we're jumping in with a base coat for the cloak. Just want to get it around there. And for the cloak, I am going for a deep purple undertone. In this case, we can get a little bit bigger brush. This could be too big. We'll see. Thin out that Kimera paint properly. I always tend to use too much paint on the palette. Always just pops out there. Yeah, this will work nice. I don't know why. It's just the droppers from Kimera are a bit hard to handle, I think. Alright, let's get this purple on there. And again, I don't care about the surroundings. Everything else will be painted more cleanly when it's its turn, basically. Good thing about Kimera is it's really opaque. You can just slap it on and it will mostly cover, especially the darker colors from Kimera tend to cover really well. But you have to be careful to really thin it out or it will get quite splodgy. There are going to be textures and stuff on there, and you don't want that. Music is nice and chill today. But also with Kimera you have to watch out to let the paint properly dry. It's easy to, I don't know if you can see it here, there are some parts that are like dried already and some parts are like still drying. And if you would manipulate this with a brush, you would get a nasty texture, and that's not that fun. So yeah, watch out for it to dry completely. Gotta get to the inside, which is a bit stupid to reach in this case. But I try my best. I will need a few more coats of this purple because we got a black undertone, like a black primer, and this will take a few coats to get a bit more vibrant. That dull, but I need the purple as an undertone for red. Don't forget the sides. Alright, some water. Normally in this stream there would be a chance to use your stream points to give treats to my dog, but sadly my dog is with my former partner, so he will only visit on occasion, which makes me quite sad actually, but I cannot change that. Okay, now we have to look out for which part is actually cloak and which isn't. So the parts in the front here are definitely part of his cloak. There is some belts and buckles around here. This is definitely cloak, and I would need to check my reference in a second, because I'm not quite sure about his shoulder pads and stuff. So, let's see. Okay, this dude painted them just as is. And there's no good picture from behind. Alright, there's someone. Okay, he painted the pads brown. Also a good idea. This from the back. Yeah, I think I'll switch to a brown on the shoulder pads and stuff. For the cloak itself, like even with the arms, will be a nice red one. Wow, when you normally paint like orcs and stuff, this is tiny. So tiny. Holy frick. But at least I can see that I haven't lost much of my brush control. Which is nice. Yeah, I'm quite excited to get a game of Crisis Protocol in someday. There are a lot of games I'm excited for. The new version of Kill Team, this heresy thing that's going on, quite exciting. The Crisis Protocol is something I'm excited for, and also Star Wars Legion. And I heard there's a new Star Wars game going on right now, which also got called Great Fun, but I got too many games already. I think this is more part of his code. Okay, this is definitely tag on, and this is like part of his code, so I will go in with a purple for this one and switch to a brown for the shoulder pad, and this shoulder pad looks more like it's part of the cloak, so I'm going for that with the purple. I know there's not much to see at this stage. Base coating is mostly the boring part of the paint job, but it has to be done. So, going over with a second coat, decided to go a bit thicker this time and work fast, so I don't end up manipulating drying pigments, which could be yeah, a bit of a catastrophe, because manipulating dried pigments or drying paint is not that good looking. It always gives this strange texture, and you don't want that anymore. If I would ever paint him again, I think I would go for a purple primer from the start. Could help. have to check my phone in a second because I just got a message from a person I'm growing quite fond of at the moment. But first, finishing this code. Guys enjoy the music. I went for a more chill vibe. Right, I think with the third code this will be working out fine. Alright. Good, nobody saw that. Yeah, this is a good example. You can see these spots here that are still drying, and if I would touch them with a brush, they would mostly rip and create texture. So try to avoid that. Now I'm going to check if I need a third coat. But yeah. Pushing the vibrancy is a good idea. I don't always put more water into the paint. I always keep a pretty moist brush when I paint with Kimera, so it basically dilutes in my brush. I don't do that with every paint. For example, with Pro Acryl, I try to avoid that, because they are pre-thinned and I find it quite hard to find the perfect mixture. So I always flick off my brush when I had it in the water. There we go. This should work some nice undertone for all the red that is coming up. Yeah, quite happy. Alright. So next will be blue, and there's this wonderful phthalo blue from Kimera. Also, like, always so stuck. Why so stuck? Sorry. We'll loosen up in a second. These pigments are quite dense, so if it settles down and the agitators, like, you can't even hear it because it's trapped in the pigments. Yeah, that's quite bad. There we go. Now it's loose. You can shake it up now. There we go. This is the standard set is quite old now, and I have no issue with the pigments or with it drying or something. It's just settling down, and this is quite nice. So now I'm going to try to just use 1 or 2 drops of this stuff. Oh wow, it works. And now for the pants. And you can see how pigment dense this paint is by looking at the paint water. Just from dipping my brush in there with the purple a few times, it turned bright purple. This is really good paint. Now we're going for the blue pants. And from down on we have a good start of base coats to paint some stuff on. Like the bigger areas. The cloak, the pants or trousers or whatever you want to call them. And from there on we can go with the other stuff. Blue also needs a crazy amount of thinning. So even 1 drop here would have been enough. So I maybe should write that down on all the bottles. Just 1 drop. By the way, if you want to wet blend them, I had some good experiences with just the standard retarder medium from Vallejo. It works pretty well with the Kimera paints. It tends to change the sheen of the finish a bit, but it doesn't matter when you use a varnish at the end of the paint job anyway. And especially when using like multiple paint brands, I always use a varnish at the end because they all have different finishes, and this ties them together quite nicely. For the shadow areas here under the cloak, I tend just to go for a base coat, and this simulates like the shadow part quite well. So if you don't paint in any highlights in those areas here or just on the corners, that gives a quite natural shadow look. And you can add some OSL later on here where the booster jets are, like on the rim of the cloak and stuff. Alright, this needs to dry a bit, and then we can add on a second layer. Well, I am actually quite happy how this setup turned out with the green screen. It was just picture in picture like this morning. And then I decided to fill around a bit. Finally got space for my wall here in the back, so I put that up. I have a lot of lighting going on, so now I'm able to do green screen, which is quite nice. The only thing you can see is part of my lamp, just here I guess, and my camera. But I can't remove the camera. I need that. Alright, blue is drying. And we shook up the red already. So what did we say? Just 1 drop, right? Boop. Just 1 drop. And now I'm taking some of the purple, some of the red, because if you mix purple and red, you often get this brownish tone. And yeah, that's good. So at this stage, we need to be a bit more careful, and I am not really using this huge brush anymore, and I will switch to, let's see if it can hold a tip. You can test if a brush can hold a tip. If you make it really wet and then you just take it on your finger and flick it. And if a nice tip comes out of this flick, the brush is still good. Oh, and I shouldn't be brush licking that much because the Kimera are not that safe. There are some yellow tones that are quite toxic actually. It is a bad habit anyway. Alright. But I mostly brush lick when before I go into the paint, not after, so yeah, it's maybe not that bad. So what we want to do now is we want to retain the recesses, because I hate recess shading and I'd rather paint around it. So I'm going over this and try to keep the recess on the second panel and over here as is. Same thing here. And now I'm switching to applying like the tiniest amounts of paint. Because from now on I want to really start building up layers. Painting break I had for like 2 months now, I guess, was quite good for my brush control. I don't know why, but I feel much more confident painting. Sometimes you have to take a break. There are some more recesses I just want to keep, and if they turn out to be too dark later on, I can always take this as a glaze and go over it to unify this. It's also like a technique I like to use, like going quite dark from the start, then going quite bright with the highlights, and then using a glaze to unify both. But it doesn't work perfectly every time, so we'll have to try if it works here. Now the recess I want to keep, just going over the highlight. Leave a bit of space for the recess and paint. So we are getting into a dark red shred right now. Blue turned out quite nice, and it kept some of the black underneath, which is quite handy. Let's go for a second round here. Then we can lighten up the color and start picking out highlights. So we have a nice purple undertone, and we are switching to a dark red. More the surfaces, purple still in the recesses, and then we're going to add some nice highlights on top of this cock. And when we're done with the back, we're going to do this for the top parts. So I wanted to start streaming like in the morning, and then I fell back into, let's say, fiddling around with the tech, because I enjoy that part of the hobby at least as much as I enjoy the painting part. You always need a few coats when you're using paint that is thinned out so much, because you don't want it to look splodgy, and you want nice transitions. And I can see some splodginess around here, especially on the flat areas. I mean, it gives a rough look, which is quite nice. If you want something to look like weathered and worn. Okay, I'm now jumping straight to the red. And now I'm going for more of the highlighted parts. Trying to look from above where the light would hit. Here, and it drops off, and this edge comes up again. And there are these razor sharp edges that will get much more highlighted later on in the process. Yep. We are still going for pretty large surfaces here. Because we want to go for bright red. And if you add too much yellow or too much white into the red, you get a pink or an orange, and that's not what we want. Also beware of the drop of death. If you have a drop of water on your brush, this can run into your freshly painted blend and will most likely ruin it. So still going for big areas here. This edge drops off pretty harsh, so I want to emulate that and let the shadow like fall on here. The lower edge will catch some light again. Same here. There we go. Splodginess. So anyone up for something fun today, feel free to hit me up in the chat. I'm also not all about those super smooth blends. I tend to have more like a painterly style, as people say, and I try to embrace that from time to time. Because I always thought like, oh, painterly, is that even cool? And now I found out for myself that, yeah, it is. It is. It just comes naturally to me, so I fight it. This is getting there quite nicely, actually. All right. So I won't be streaming that long today because this is actually, I should have been just a test run. But it worked out so well that I decided on staying. So these, I don't know what these are. I think cables or some kind. I will paint them on later, and I will leave this part a bit darker. Same on the other side. Just the end of the thread. Yeah, quite nice. Let's switch over to some blue. Must resist the brush licking. And for the blue, there's green shade one I used. I could go for a lighter blue or sea blue, which is also stuck already, which is one of the newer bottles and it's stuck already. Wow. Sea blue is quite fitting because the first one we got the green shade in it, so using this one should work perfectly for the highlights on the pants. Holy, this is stuck AF. Well, I'll try it this way. Oh, and it's, oh, hot damn, this is thick. Like, wow, this is really thick. Woo! That must be one of the thickest Kimera paints I have ever squirted on my palette. God damn. Okay. So we're going for most of the raised areas. But just in the front. And we're going to keep the back. Quite dark. Okay, this is not working as I wanted it to work. So we have to be a bit extreme and add some white in it. To make it much lighter. And this turns out too green, so I'm getting some more blue in the mix. And boom, it turns into a really, really nice light blue. And now I have to really hit the raised areas here. Yes, this is what I was going for. Now I can make it look quite rough. Yep. That's how I like it. All right. For glaze consistency now. Try to unify those layers for more subtle highlights. Two or three of those glazes and it will fit nicely together. Because now it looks super rough, and with the glazes I will blend it together. I'll be back in a second. Hello, hello, hello. Is this? Yeah, this is on now. All right. So let's switch back to painting. There we go. So still quite rough. Get in the next round of glazes. Try to avoid the deeper recesses because that would look a bit unrealistic. So sometimes you have to pull back some of the paint from the towel, with the towel, and remove some of this from the recesses again. Some of the bigger areas, trying to avoid recesses. Yep, getting there, getting there. I think one last round, and this will be trying to get more of that green back for the last layer. To get the undertone and the highlights matching a bit more. And always watch out for where you end your brush stroke, because this is where the most pigments will actually settle. And there you go. So we'll edit. Let's get some white. Thin it down. And jump in on that shirt. Just going for the most. Oh, this is small. Most raised areas. Here. This is a bit tricky. Alright, I think I got it. A bit on his helmet. Oh, that's alright. I haven't started painting it yet. You have to watch out because white is always quite thick. The pigments are pretty big, so it can look quite chalky pretty fast. Now just a bit gray. Light gray glaze. And I want to blend this white into the gray, because this is looking way too rough. And that's the reason I haven't painted the upper part of his cloak. I haven't painted the upper part of his cloak yet, because I will touch it in a lot of spots, because this is like the small fiddly inside part. But you're getting the idea. There will be a lot of brown going on. While we're at it, we can take like this small dry brush here and get some of this gray we have here. Wipe it off and then go over the metallic part on the bottom here, just to get the raised areas. Going a second round with white, just around the edge. All right, now we could get some black and red. Go Let's see. Adding some white into the red with a bit of black, makes a grayish red. And use this to just gently try to brush them a bit lighter. Bit too pink for my liking. Need some more red. Much better. All right. So we could make some. Oh yeah. Let's take some orange, which is also stuck as hell right now. Shaky McShake. Taking some orange, which is also really thick. And mixing that in with this blackish red. Ah, there we go. Getting this super thin. And now we drop in some rust around the edges of this metal plates. These metal plates, nice regular patterns. Yeah, that looks quite dirty. And now to top this off, go just for the orange. Adding some lighter spots in there. There we go. Nice rusty lights on the ground. So what's going on with my phone? Alright guys, so for today, I just want to add some red brown to the edges of some of the stones. To get a bit of variation in. Tapping that into the stones with my finger. Another regular pattern. Yep, I am quite happy with this. So, well, that was my test stream for today, and I'm quite happy with how this all turned out. Yeah, this will be a regular thing now. I hope to see you guys soon. That's it. I hope to see you soon. Bye, guys.
you know.